So, whatever. Copyrights are bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. Copyrights, patents, all that shit. You realize there will always be forgery. There will always be plagiarism. And shame on those people for not having an original thought, for not having an original idea. But you realize that, especially in the realm of art, of music, in the realm of painting and drawing and writing and stuff, you know, it's impossible to create a single stroke, to create a single note, a single key on a keyboard that somebody else hasn't done before. It's the complexity, it's the remix, it is the you that you put into it that makes it yours. It's not the particular sequence that you put into it. You know, there are a lot of fantastic, high-minded, educational, academic articles and whatnot, writing against the idea of copyrights and patents and just the general idea of intellectual property to begin with. But I want you to understand something, that if I write a song and somebody else writes a song and they happen to share 99% of the same material, but one thing is different, you know what? Best luck to the other guy. It doesn't matter. You know, my audience is my audience, his audience is his audience. If there's a crossover, that's fine. If there's not, big deal. It's really not a big deal. The idea behind intellectual property is it's another way to monopolize on something. It's another way to put somebody else's force behind your work, to say, look, I don't want anybody else to hone in on this or horn in on this market. Why not? You realize competition breeds the best, absolute best of everything. You know, when it comes to services, it comes to products, it comes to compositions, it comes to anything like that, you always have to be on your toes when you're competing against somebody, because you know, you can have two things that are 99.9% identical. You can have two things that are in fact 100% identical, but there's going to be some reason for people to shop with you and not the other person. And you know, maybe it's your salesmanship, maybe it's your personality, maybe it's You know, maybe it's your slight pinch harmonic on that riff versus that guy's natural harmonic on the riff, or whatever. You know, it doesn't really matter. But this idea of this is mine and I lay claim to it. You realize there are people out there trying to patent and copyright dance moves and gymnastic moves, and like these are human physical movements. All of a sudden I can't do this because this person over there claims he invented it. I guarantee you, in the billions of years that this earth has been around, in the millions of years, hundreds of millions of years, however long humanity has been around on this earth, somebody's done it. And even if they haven't, how are you going to prove that you are the founder, that you are the sole proprietor? You can't. Just fucking suck it up. Compete a little bit. Stop being a pussy. You need to step out of this idea. As a martial artist, it would be impossible for me to teach any of the things that I know if we were still under the draconian systems of family rule and all that, like back in the old days where you could only teach this if it was approved by, you know, your living ancestors and all that. You realize that I didn't invent any of the Wing Chun moves I know. I didn't invent any of the Kempo moves that I know. I didn't invent any of the MMA moves that I know. All of these things were passed down to me from somebody else who latched onto the idea, and maybe halfway across the world, well, this guy was discovering it, this guy over here was discovering it too. Which one did it first? Who created punk first? It's still a debate. It doesn't fucking matter. Stop trying to put the law, stop trying to put somebody's gun up against somebody's head because you feel insecure about how good your product, your service, your composition is. Just stop the bullshit and create and express and explore, and you know what? Make a few bucks off of it. That's great. You know what? Go ahead. If you like that riff, it was shit, but if you like that riff, or any of the 3 random riffs that I was just putting together there, steal it. Steal it. Take it. Do your best. Because you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know, all I'm asking from you as a creator myself is that if you do decide to disseminate something, that you do your best with it. Don't do any disservice. If I've created something that you want to platform off of, don't do any fucking disservice to it. Because I will find you and I will hurt you with my guitar pick. 3 millimeters thick, this will hurt. But the point is, you really need to chill on this whole litigious, legalistic bullshit. Stop. Just fucking stop. Just create and express and calculate and build and teach and whatever. And just do it and let it be. So what if the next guy over is competing with you? It just means you have to be a little better. Is that such a bad thing? I don't think so. Talk to you next time. Good journey.